Hey everybody, welcome back to another Political Machine episode. So I actually messed up the audio for this. I thought I was recording with the microphone, but I wasn't. But I will still provide audio for this episode. So what I discovered from the last episode is that it is in fact more difficult to win on masochistic. So you have to have a different strategy and be a bit smarter as you play it. So the strategy I was using before wasn't really working. So I got blown out as Mitt Romney. And again, Michelle Obama is a very good character. But I decided that right now, what I was explaining that I guess wasn't recorded, is that I'm going, if I can win those states that I just highlighted, except for Ohio, I realized that later, I will get my 270 and win. Because what ends up happening is that the computer is very quick to attack the big state that is yours. So like the Republicans will go and attack California. I've never seen them attack New York, but they'll go for California. And then all of a sudden, within like the first fifth or sixth week, you are playing defense in California. Or if you are the Republican, the Democrat goes right at Florida and right at Texas. So I learned early that I need to make sure we start generating political capital as quickly as possible. So Michelle made the Illinois HQ the maxed out political capital. So we were getting one per turn from Illinois. And then the first like 2 or 3 turns, I started hiring the lobbyists so that I was able to start generating more of that early, because that allows me to play these cards, whether it's the whistleblower to harm Mitt, or whether it's, whatever card I need, I now have capital to spend. And also the endorsements I hear are incredibly more valuable. But right there, I'm starting to drop HQs because I got my California funding operation going. So I've got money to spend, and I'm starting to place HQs in those swing states that I need to win, like PA, Michigan, Wisconsin. And at this point, I gave up on Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina because they're not part of my strategy. But I am trying to get that HQ to get that +3 enthusiasm each week, because the more enthusiasm, the better. I did throw a cheerleader into California, as you can see, because I wanted to make sure California stays blue. And Mitt, I don't think, made that much of a push in California as I've seen other players do. Now, Michelle has a lot of stamina, which I like, and she's also a very strong character anyways. So what we see here is I'm upgrading PA, and I'm getting more lobbyists. So I realized that maybe in previous games on masochistic, I still generated political capital, but I didn't generate as much as early, and I realized that was my mistake. So what you'll see coming up is that presidential scheduling gives me 10 stamina back. So that basically gives me a free turn to add more HQs. And right there I noticed that New Hampshire was my challenge, because Mitt got his HQ there, a spin doctor early. And even though a little state like New Hampshire doesn't really necessarily matter, when you're running a strategy like I was, it definitely did. But right there I had the privilege of being able to get the Southwest without any contention from Mitt. And it looks like he was kind of working the southern route there, which wasn't my priorities. Like, he really locked down Georgia, but I wasn't concerned about that. And so I was able to kind of expand my operation to Arizona and Nevada. And there you see I'm getting more money from California, checking out the question mark there, and that relief effort, stuff like that. Love it. Good solid card for me. And there we see is like 283 to 255. So it's still a very tight election. I did throw the activist judge in California too, and I maybe I should have played that earlier, but that was just a way of saying, get the hell out of California, Mitt. You have no business being there. And we see Michelle has that benefit of being from Illinois, so she's able to really lock down that state, because that's a state that I would have needed to maybe work on if I was a Democrat in a different state. And there you go. You see Mitt kind of working in the Midwest there with Missouri. I'm upgrading Colorado to give me more political capital. I got the lobbying team card. I thought I played that one pretty quick because I know anytime you're able to generate more political capital, you want to do it. And as of right now, you see my strategy is working out perfectly. I am winning the states I have to win, with the exception, I think, of New Hampshire is the only one I was struggling with at this point. And this is where I realized that Ohio was in my plan. And I'm like, oh, I don't want Ohio because that's likely going to go red. But that just increased the value of the Southwest to make sure I get Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico. Because then that gives me some flexibility. But I was surprised because throughout this entire game, Mitt did not even try for Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, which to me just seems really stupid. So I must have lucked out that Mitt wasn't the best strategist. And right there, I was trying to protect New Jersey a bit because I know that New Jersey is also a state that the Republicans will target, that they can flip from the Democrats. But yeah, in this episode, I was a little bit worried because I'm going, oh man, is masochistic that much more difficult? And perhaps it was Mitt Romney just really cleaning my clock. Or not Michelle just destroying me. But then we look at Spin Doctor. I started trying to do a little bit more campaigning there in New Hampshire. Because I'm going, if I can win New Hampshire back, that's one more state that falls in line and is part of my strategy. And as of right now, I'm not even thinking about going outside of my strategy. I want to lock down the states I have and keep powering through like the expert Spin Doctor. That's PA, Michigan, Wisconsin. That is the game. And then you just have to make sure that the states that are supposed to be Democrat go Democrat. Because in other games, I've lost games because I've won all the swing states. But like as a Republican, I'd lose Louisiana and Alabama. And that's what gave the Democrat the victory. And you're like, oh, shit, well, I shouldn't be losing those states. And as a Democrat, I've lost things like New Jersey and Delaware or Oregon or Washington, or like the infamous Hillary Clinton matchup when I lost California. And if she won California, she would have won. So it's making sure I win the states I'm supposed to win. And so that's all we're doing. So I'm getting more and more lobbyists. And I'm getting my endorsements. And Romney wasn't even going for the endorsements early, which was a shock. And maybe his stamina was low. He wasn't like getting the HQs for it. Maybe he wasn't making enough lobbyists. Right there, I'm able to get the mysterious donor card, which allows me to go from New Hampshire to New York. And I do play the mysterious donor card next turn, and I get my money from New York. And really my fundraising state order is if you're a Democrat, it's California, New York, Texas, Florida. And then from there, whether it's like Illinois, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, you just do your best. But if you're a Republican, I normally go California, Texas, New York, Florida. And right there, I could have gone for a bigger endorsement, but sometimes the farmer endorsement can be Democrat or Republican. So if I can land that endorsement, it kind of helps me in the like Iowas, Missouris, the Midwest. And right now I'm starting to, as you saw, I'm investing a little bit in North Carolina and Iowa because I'm feeling confident at this point that I'm going to win the states I already have leaning toward me. You see Wisconsin is already solid blue. So right now it's upgrading the think tank there to being the maximum think tank in North Carolina. Use the annoying lawyer, so if he wants to go there, he's going to get hit with the stamina hit. Is there again? I have enough money that I'm able to just throw smear merchants and spin doctors anywhere I want them. Every so often, the cheerleader, and there we're gonna get the homeless one. Yep. So we get that endorsement. So we're keeping the endorsements rolling in. That gives the door to open up in North Carolina. And we see he's got a solid anchor in Texas, Utah, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. But all of those states are not in my focus at all. I never cared to win them to begin with. However, I might start to chip away at some of those states, like I am with North Carolina, because it's like North Carolina and Iowa. Maybe I'll move to Georgia next. But as we get to the halfway point, I'm really thinking hard about my VP because it's such an important decision. I mean, what would I do without thinking through the VP's selection? I end up going with Cory Booker to destroy the element of surprise and the suspense that you're building up here. But we do end up going with Cory Booker. Yep, there's me continuing to make up my mind. Because I thought about Wes Moore, and then I thought, nah, Cory Booker. So it's going to be Obama Booker, which actually has a good ring to it, and then Romney Christie. And so here we are. We're upgrading here in North Carolina. And I throw the speech personalizer in North Carolina. And with one speech, I'm already over the finish line for Michelle, and she's leading in North Carolina now. And at this point, I'm feeling very uber confident because there's not much Romney can do at this point because I'm having so much control over the important states like Arizona's a swing state, Nevada's a swing state, Michigan, Wisconsin, and now North Carolina are just solid for me. Now Minnesota joins the ranks of solid blue, along with Colorado. And now I'm starting to explore the possibility of winning Georgia. But I did want to lock down Iowa, which I do. And Barack Obama was able to win Iowa when he was running for president. And you see, Romney's over there locking down states that are already going his way, like Indiana. But he wasn't doing anything to, like, steal states from me. And when you're down 300 electoral votes, you have to start going to other places. And that's not... It just seems like he didn't do that this game. So I don't know if the AI just screwed him over or what. But I do think that's a good way of taking masochistic on anyways, which is you got to come up with the game plan first and just follow through the game plan. What states are you going for? Make sure like California is yours. Make sure Texas is yours if you're a Republican. And then win your strategy, win your 270, and then start to expand outward. Like if you're seeing states being left unattended, like I did Arizona and Nevada. And it looks like the masochistic computers, like the Republicans, everyone seems to hit Georgia and North Carolina early. And so I've noticed that. And so I try to get them later. I'm starting to explore the prospect of attacking Florida because I have done nothing there. So I thought, maybe I go to Florida. And then the crooked prosecutor card, excellent card to take away someone's turn. And then we get a cheerleader. We throw that into Florida because now we're trying to get our enthusiasm up because it's 100% to 17. I get the Build Back Better card. And I thought, what better place to put that than the state I need to flip, which is Florida. And Michelle's stances on those are really good. And so I have no surprise there that Florida will start to shift my way. And you can't give me enough bodyguard cards because that is a very helpful card. And this is where Romney starts getting some endorsements, but by this point, it's too late. So there I'm using Texas with that fundraising card. or the fundraising operative. And now I'm going to decide to explore a little bit here in Ohio and see if I'm able to possibly flip Ohio. And there you see Romney try to protect Georgia. And I'm upgrading the think tank, and so there we are in Ohio trying to make that work. But also trying to pull away in Florida. And at this point, I'm just playing around because the game's been over for a while. When you see, if you look at the swing states, I mean, they're all solid blue, and now we're pulling in Florida. So yeah, there's a lot of good cards to play, and so you just have to have enough political capital to play them. So I think that was my weakness before, is that I was not... I was doing well getting money, and I was doing well getting enthusiasm, like HQs popped up, so I'm getting +3 everywhere. But I wasn't getting the political capital to run these cards, and I wasn't getting the ones to do endorsements. And so I think that's what made this game significantly different than when I was Romney. However, Romney's stamina is a problem. If you give me a candidate with low stamina, I'm going to struggle. Because I need things to do. Because again, an HQ doesn't matter if you are high in media bias or high in charisma. An HQ is an HQ, no matter who your candidate is. So if you have the stamina to make more HQs, that's all you need. And there we are, trying to get that last fundraiser before the last 2 turns. I probably could have done a fundraiser or 2 less there, but... And in some ways, those late endorsements could have come back to hurt me, but at this point, I was just so much in control that it didn't matter. And that's me throwing the card in the wrong state like a moron. But anyway, we've got Georgia now that we're trying to pull off. So now we maxed the Issues HQ in Georgia. Launching some ads in Ohio, trying to see if we can possibly flip that state. And there with the Smear Merchant, we get it within 5 points. Yeah, I was looking at Wyoming there, if that was a possibility. It was not. And there we tried some speeches, since Michelle is just so damn charismatic. And we're trying to hit the ones that everybody likes, try to flip some votes. You know, there's Smear Merchant, they're in Ohio. And there we're winning by 4. And I was unsure about any of those other endorsements because I didn't want to make a top issue in these states an issue that Michelle Obama's not good at. So I decided to forego. But here we are, election night, once Mitt Romney finishes his turn. And of course, we see the map going very, very blue. And Mitt Romney is losing this race worse than he did against Barack Obama. And he gets beat by Obama a second time, but misses Obama. I wasn't able to pull off Ohio, which I was a little bit disappointed with. But on Masochistic, when I just got blown out as Mitt Romney before, I'm feeling okay about this map. So part of it could have been how I played as Mitt Romney, where I just did not play very well as him. But the other instances, Michelle is a good character, and so I was able to come away with a solid, commanding victory with her, just as I had a commanding defeat against me as Mitt Romney. And there you see, it was on Masochistic. And I had more money, more political capital, and more popular vote. So all that was mine. And then even on the issue score, I just beat him handily. And right there, what I was doing was doing the math on the states. So Mitt Romney had about 12 HQs across the United States. I had about 17. So I saw how I was a bit more diverse in how I laid out my strategy. Now, Mitt looks like he has significantly more ads than I do. And I don't know how he had the money for it. Because he has like the second, like a fundraising HQ in Texas. But he's only got the 2-star one, not the 4-star one. So I don't know where he gets his money. And I think the AI gets certain boosts that make it easier for them. Like they probably get more political capital than I do. They could probably get more money than I do to start. Because that's the only way that makes sense. Because if they had to work with the same thing I did, I think it'd be a different matchup. There I am looking at, like, what does Mitt Romney actually have? Now, Romney did have more, like, spin doctors and smear merchants than other candidates I've gone up against. But I was there talking about how I won literally every swing state. The only state that I didn't win that was a swing was Ohio, which, if you count Ohio as a swing state anymore. We had the 3-star one in Texas, not the 2-star. But yeah, well, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more of these videos and you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I will have more content coming out in future episodes. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate you. Leave a comment if you have something funny to say. See you in the next one.